Police brutality, not on our watch. Poor healthcare, no sir. Our voting system is broken. It changes when we change it. We rise up as one. We speak out for our black lives. In 2020, we show up to the polls.
Today's episode, we have a Zoom discussion going on. I would like to introduce you guys to our panelists. First off, we have the lovely host of Fire and Shade, Fayze and Lul. They've been doing a podcast for about over a year, 2 years now?
2 years, I think.
It's been like 3.
Not yet.
And how's the podcast been?
It's good.
It's a lot of work. I think Somali people aren't really into podcasts. I know the younger generation is, but we've been getting a lot of traction. So it's been
they
fun.
always fight for us to do videos, so that's our mission.
All right, so we're gonna introduce you guys to another panelist. We have Larry. I don't know if you guys watched Sheeko Sheeko back in the day. Larry came on.
This is Larry the Puntiteport Sheeko Sheeko. Thanks for having me again on the show. Today we're going to be talking about some amazing topic, which is about Somali wealth. What better place to do it from here in Singapore, a country that went from...
Yes, thanks for having me crawl out of that little hole I've been in for a bit. Glad to be back. I know I had my little channel going on and then kind of did a little abrupt stop for a little bit and restarted. I know a lot of people have been waiting. I'm thankful for a bunch of the folks that have been emailing me, hitting me up. Made a lot of friends.
Our last panelist, he is coming from Minneapolis, is Omar Fateh.
My name is Omar Fateh. I'm the incoming state senator for South Minneapolis, which is actually the site of where George Floyd was actually murdered in Minnesota. So thank you all for having me here.
Just a week from this taping, the United States will be having their elections. I'm not American, all right? But I feel you're not American either. But
two Canadian or North Americans in here.
Yeah, but I feel that this, whatever happens in the United States, there's a ripple effect. It's going to affect us. It's going to affect people around the world. Living in the United States the last 4 years, how has that been for you guys?
For me and the country, the last 4 years have been, I think, filled with a lot of ups and downs. The biggest down, obviously, being President Donald Trump being elected in 2016. For the most part, unexpectedly, I think everybody seemed to believe that he didn't stand a chance. With that, I think a lot of people stayed home also, resulting in his victory. But with that, we saw a spike in racism. We saw white supremacists getting empowered and feeling like they can come out and be more vocal. We saw the country become more divided. We continue to see on recording police killing Black and brown people left and right. We saw a divided Congress that didn't do anything for working people. So there was a lot of downs that were happening. The good thing is that with 2016 at the same time, with all that depression, a lot of people woke up. A lot of people started organizing, started following politics more, started doing a little bit more research. Even running for office, we have a lot of folks in our state that, because of Donald Trump, started getting active, started getting engaged, and also won elected office at all levels of government, from Congress all the way down to the local school boards. So with all the negativity that's been going on, a lot of positive has happened and has occurred, that I think that the history we've previously had of incremental change happening. I think that there's now more of a sense of urgency to act on things like the climate crisis, like police brutality, like folks going without health insurance. So I think that there's a greater sense of urgency to act on all of those issues now. So with all that negativity, I think number one, I believe Donald Trump will lose his re-election. And number two, a lot of people have woken up and said, hey, we can't walk around blind anymore.
This is going to be kind of messed up. So I don't want to say it, but I was really scared the day that Trump was elected, right? Like I remember like I didn't sleep that night. The minute I saw he was going to be elected, I was convinced like in the morning we're all getting shipped off like by country back home. Like in my mind I was like it's over for us. Like I'm going to be sent to either a camp, I'm getting back to Somalia. I was like I've never been to Somalia. Like I literally was like what am I going to do? And sadly now that it's been 4 years in my personal life, nothing has really changed. But I know that's coming from a place of privilege because not everyone can say that. But what I thought like was so scary to me is like, okay, nothing has changed other than like maybe just my anxiety with the world, like my fears being like a Black woman, a Muslim, like all that stuff that has been more like heightened. But it's not like America has been the same. It's always been, it's a racist country. Like we can't change that, you know?
I think it also really does depend. And I think something that people tend to forget is that while the president is, supreme ruler, commander in chief, all that good stuff, it's really the people in your state that affect you personally. So living in Virginia, we have our senators are Democratic, our mayors are Democratic, our governors are Democratic. We don't have the same issues as maybe somebody in Florida who has a Republican governor and is aligned with Trump. We don't have those same problems. Yeah. I do say that not like with her, not a lot has changed for us. We live in Northern Virginia. It's very multicultural. It's a very diverse area. A lot of people here, they may support Trump, but they don't say it out loud. That's the kind of vibe that we live in.
Yeah, the silent majority is what they call them.
Yeah, they are. They are. You don't see a lot of Trump pen signs, at least within a 15-mile, 20-mile radius of Northern Virginia.
I mean, I for sure lost friends.
I'm
not gonna lie about that. Like I've had friends who I always thought were like, oh, like I love you. Like you're in my parents' house, I'm in your parents' house. We've traveled together, and have this election come around and people are starting to vocalize true feelings. You're like, did you like me? Like this whole time, were we actually friends? Like I'm like, hold, I think you're racist. Like now I'm like, I'm mad I let you come into my house. Like all that stuff. It just showed people what they really were feeling, that they were just able to like hide. For sure.
But I will say my tax returns under Trump have been great. I'm not even gonna lie. Everybody says that, but you have to give credit where credit's due. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna say that my life has been a shithole since Trump has been in office, but I will say there are certain things, like when he did change some of the tax reforms, it did help out people like me that were able to get more credits for things. So, my tax returns were booming these past 4 years.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. He's a racist, xenophobic, but interest. You know what I'm saying?
No.
There's the word. That's the word we're looking for, is the interest. That's
the interest.
Like if you're like for us, I mean, we're in Canada, so at the same time, it is part of North America. I'm in Alberta. Alberta would probably be the closest thing to Texas. Naturally, I think I'm a conservative, 100%. Just like on a hand, whatever it is. Like we'll discuss later on that side of the whole that other part of the conservative versus liberal or whatever situation. Like when I was speaking to family, I have a lot of family in the States, and I had to like calm them down when this whole thing happened when Trump got elected, because the ones that were working and they were busy and they saw the differences in taxes and things like this. It was mostly for them, the ones who sided with the Republicans, it was based on interest, satiri, where taxes were lower. But at the same time, the family members who had their family, especially for elderly, because Democrats offer more incentives for the older folks. But then if you're young, the aspect is that it's not that I want to vote for, because I had to find family back home and Danahan tell them Ninkan Doro, Kuan Katag, Kuan Hifiayin, when you're younger.
Hold on. What do you mean this daughter? You were telling people to vote for Trump?
No. At the time when it's not voting for Trump, it's voting for your interest, right? Now, if they are in a situation where you've left the hood, right? In the beginning, you were growing up, you had, your parents were voting Democrat. You weren't even voting at that time because you were so young, right?
Yeah.
So, and you were getting, incentives, right? And all these social things that were helping you and, helping your family and things like this. But as you then get older And then obviously the word interest comes in, right? So for them, at the same time, they were watching their tax situation, leaving the hood, getting into homes, worrying about property tax increases, worrying about, what's a neighborhood to be in, a safe place to be in, the school zones, and at that time, Danahan, they were like, yes, they are the Republican because then they realized at that time, after, especially when I'm speaking to the family members, telling them, okay, Republicans go, mention who are racist, racist not gonna get. So Africa can to me, racist the one high. But if you're outside of the United States, there's way worse places in the world right now than the United States, especially for racism. You know what I mean? So in the beginning, yeah, there was that whole emotional thing where they were like, we don't know, just uncertainty, this and that. But then when I calmed them down and I said, okay, what is your tax plan? What is your HALA plan? And which party affects you, which party benefits you more with their policies? Like she said, the Republicans helped her out. Trump helped her out. She was booming the last 4 years. And there was a lot of people that were booming for the last 4 years. And I think this election is going to show a lot of people that are going to be quiet, that are going to say they're this and this, but then they're going to look at their shakadoda, they're going to look at their investments, they're going to look at the 401k, the IRAs, and they're going to say, hey, or their Roth investments, and they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to go with the Republicans.
So you,
no, I just want to make
hold
one
on,
thing.
yeah, and hold on. So Larry and Fayze, you guys are under the 50 Cent camp.
This is what I told you.
No. I simply, okay, you got to call a spade, right? All I said was, in the gloom and doom of Trump being elected, I will say that is what I noticed. Do I agree with his policies? Absolutely not. Do I think that he's a capable and fit president? Absolutely not. Do I think that he's turning this country into a fascist country? Absolutely. But I'm saying that's the only thing that I noticed during these past 4 years is that my tax returns suddenly got bigger.
Yeah, done tava. Your done got better. So it's not like I get better and the world gets worse.
But Dante the maha. Dante the wahir bukayai. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, like, I can't sit here and say, oh, because this one thing, because a lot of people will sit here and say, oh, he's this, he's that, blah, 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 but they've benefited somehow or some way. So
yeah, lots of people. I mean, even in Canada, we benefited a lot, especially in Alberta. But at the same time, a lot of people that were working, I had, family that's in the States that were saying, yes, the last 4 years up to, from when he got elected, they were fine. Everything was good. Even the first 2 years, they were seeing the economic, their taxes being lower, things being, it's just, Trump is saying this and this, but they're a lot better.
This is that, a lot of that, well, the taxes and the money and things like that, he inherited that from Obama. So it's not necessarily like Trump did that. It's not because of Trump's actions that my tax returns were amazing. It was just he inherited a great economy. He inherited, this booming economy from Obama and Biden. And I just happened to get the benefits of that during the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
So Larry, so you're under the 50 Cent camp.
I think I'm a conservative, 100%, unapologetically.
But Larry, here's the question: is your personal benefit outweighs the collective benefit of everybody? Even though, you're getting more tax return, you're getting a better money back, but does that outweigh the collective of everybody else?
Okay. It's like also the same thing. It's a very tough thing because think about, it's like someone saying, does your vote count? Does your vote, does your vote matter? Right? If people are working and everybody else is working, and then you say, okay, there's the politician side of things, because here it's different in Canada. In Canada, we have the revenue CRA. By the CRA's laws kind of thing, they literally tell you have the right to pay the least tax. They give you all the tools to pay the least amount of taxes as possible. No one's telling you to come in. We're going to tax the heck out of you, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a business and you have your income taxes, or you're just someone who's getting income, you have ways to reduce your taxes.
Yeah.
So when someone is given those the tools to reduce their taxes, Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative, you're not being selfish. Because the government, because now what we learned is that, hey, you pay taxes for services not rendered. You have the Federal Reserve printing money from the economic side, and a lot of Americans, the vast majority of Americans, and a lot of people just don't understand how the monetary system works, which the school system failed everybody on that, right? So, and we saw what happened with these stimulus packages, money coming out of nowhere, and just a click of a button, here you go. So states are not collecting taxes. Look at the individuals.
Let's let Lul's been wanted to say something.
All I have to say is we spent a lot of time talking about something that is only giving anyone a couple thousand more in their paycheck. Let's be real, okay? These little tax incentives, it's a couple $1,000s more. Is that even worth the conversation over the negative things that he has brought into this country?
But see, the $1,000, right? Because we can empathize, because from a Marxist government, we came from, pretty much communist, came here, and you can sympathize because you rose out of poverty, right, into the middle class. Some have been left behind and things like this. So you can't, as a child of Africa who came from war, who came to the West, especially North America, you can't just look down on the people that are in the lower rungs of society and say, okay, I did better than you, therefore I'm whatever. But the $1,000 is, I don't want my stocks to go to shit. I don't want my RSPs to go to shit.
People are dying. I don't give a about anyone's stocks. I'm very sorry. I don't even know if we can curse.
Who's dying? No, but who's dying?
Are you joking? Are you joking? Do you know the things that the people he has elected to hold these powerful positions, like the school board? Let's be real. If you want to talk about your stocks and bettering your money in the future, you have to keep making sure there's educated children coming up after you to keep running this country, right?
And you have Betsy
I pretty much homeschool at this point. But I have tools. That's what we're saying, right? Tools.
You're talking about your privilege. Not everyone is allowed that same privilege. And we have to understand that we were able to put into these positions because other people, my parents, when they came to this country, they came when like in the late 70s, early 80s, they busted their ass to give me what I have now. And alhamdulillah, I'm very thankful. Not everyone was allowed that same opportunity. People came here in the 90s, in the 2000s, and were not allowed to go to college here, weren't allowed to assimilate faster. I don't want that to be what we're going to keep going to, and we only think about ourselves and the money that we currently have now.
Exactly.
But if we're able, like us four sitting here, if we're able to help each other with information and tools, right? Instead of like we don't want to get emotional on politics and stuff, because you guys are American, you guys are there, you guys are in the middle of it.
Don't downplay it as emotion.
Yeah, you can't downplay that.
No, not emotions, but like ma'qul when someone, like last time when we were talking with a couple buddies and they're just like, okay.
Let me ask you this question. Donald Trump, you think he's done a good job in the last 4 years?
In the last 4 years, the leader Lamego. If you look at the souk, the souk from the standpoint of if it's domestic versus international. Me, I love geopolitics. The things that his administration has done with the international aspect of things and how they've worked with pulling troops out of the Middle East, and there's a lot of, everybody has a different thing that they can say. Yes, that administration. I'm not saying Trump, because I think the word Trump is pissing off a lot of people.
No, but it is Trump. It's Trump though.
So Trump is skande, okay? So Trump is skande. Traditionally, Obama, after 8 years, when we saw what happened with Somalia, the Middle East, the Libya, all of these things, and then all of a sudden I said, okay, then what is Trump doing? We're in Canada, over here. But geopolitically, from what I see in terms of international policy, Trump has done a better job in the last 4 years than Obama has done in the last 8 years. And that's factual. Like you can actually say, hey, this is how many people have. This is how much bombs have dropped on during the Obama administration in the 8 years.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not to say I think I'm supporting Trump. I'm just saying.
Larry, I need you. First of all, Salam alaikum hal qudara. Okay, I'm gonna need you to log out with that. Obama spent 8 years, not to say that Obama was the greatest president, okay? But Obama spent 8 years cleaning up W's mess, okay? You're blaming him for that and then giving Trump the go ahead or the thumbs up for the work and the foundation that Obama put down so that Trump could be where he's at. Now, if you're saying geopolitically that Obama's foreign policy was a lot more severe and cost a lot more in terms of both casualties. Hold on. Both casualties and stuff like that. Yes, because he inherited a war that he did not start. You're talking about Trump, who has disrespected world leaders, who has been a bully, who does not play by the rules of politics, does not care about protocol or decorum, he wants to pull out of NATO. He wants to pull out of so many different alliances and treaties that we have that keep us safe. And you're saying that Trump has a better foreign policy than Obama does?
And
guys.
But hold on, Larry. Go, Lul.
Okay. I just don't like how we spend so much time talking about international issues. I'm sorry to say this. I don't because our area right now is horrible. We don't have any business being in these other countries, whether it be Obama, whether it be Bush, whether it be Reagan, whether it be anyone that put us and made the interests of other countries their top priority. That's wrong. We need to focus on what's going on in America, and we can't help you guys. I'm very sorry you guys have Trudeau and you have your jobs and you have your businesses.
Ask the Queen.
We love Trump.
The Queen or whatever.
Call the Queen.
So now you're talking like Trump. I'm not talking
like Trump because do you not see we have bodies on the ground? There's Black people that literally are not even able to come out of the damage slavery has done to their family. Yes, we came here and we're like second generation. Well, we're first generation.
We're first generation.
Right? We don't have that long bloodline that's been in America. That has
do you guys actually believe America's racist?
Hell yeah! Are you joking?
You guys believe that?
Hold on.
You don't?
Actually,
No, just so we can get the situation here level. You know what I mean?
No, hold on.
Canada, actually believe.